Call to order the EDA meeting. Roll call. Everybody but Brian Riggs. Approval of minutes for the iFalls EDA meeting minutes of January 16th, 2018.
President,
I'll second.
Question? Call the question.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Anyone in the audience? There's a whole lot of people out there. Accounts payable and financial reports. Those are in the packets.
I would move the financial reports. There's $6,000 that's going to be going to the Coochin County Housing Study. That's the only thing we have in for claims.
Else? Call a question?
Aye.
Aye. March 31st, 2018, financial reports for EDA Fund 208 and Multimodal District Fund 404. In the packet also.
Move acceptance of the financial report for the EDA Fund and the Multimodal District Fund.
second.
Anything else further? Call the question.
Aye.
Aye. Passes.
Madam President,
Yes.
just an informational item. $1,000 that was approved for transfer to the city. The city council will have to adopt a separate, that'll actually be on the council's agenda at the next. And KEDA needs the money after a consultant is hired by the housing study, then the city council will steps here you have to go on. I just
Sounds good. That's at the next meeting.
the city council will have it at the May 7th meeting to approve the check for that because this was approved. Separate authorization by the city council sometime after May 7th.
Cool. Under reports, we have update on Coochin County Housing Study being pursued by the Housing Collaborative and EDA.
Madam President, if I could, I just made a copy of the request for proposal. This is a final draft, I think was being distributed to a group. Now, I understand that the proposals are due, I believe, on April 30th, and there was some hope that the proposals are going to be by a group of people, and then a recommendation forthcoming to KEDA to actually hire one of the three firms that we anticipate responding to the RFP. And that potentially could happen as soon as May 8th. I did, excuse me, I did see that there was some correspondence going back and forth. I don't know if the actual date to meet has been firmed up yet to meet in. I want to make sure you had a copy of the RFP just to be familiar about what the scope of work entailed.
And just to follow up, I believe at our last KEDA meeting, the project is funded at this point, so it is moving forward.
There's a housing collaborative meeting on Monday.
10 o'clock at Bacchus.
All right. right, do we need to have a motion on this, or is this just an FYI? Okay. All right, director's report, annual shovel-ready certification report.
Director, by the way.
What's that?
Who's the director?
Oh, I just provided for your information. I provided a copy of the annual shovel-ready certification report. This was due by June. I wanted to have it for the permanent record in our packet, so I've included that for your information. There's also a Department of Employment and Economic Development grant that was received, and there was a post-annual report, and I've included that for your review, and that together. And item was just for the certified mail receipt. I just included this. We had taken action previously to Mariner Farms in default of the development agreement that we had, so we withdrew from the copy that they received the certified mail sent from the
Need action on any of this?
No, the final piece of information is just it's kind of interesting. I've been trying to talk about, and it's just more public now, but it's always been a problem since I've been involved in economic development at the very latter part of the 80s, actually, is that businesses really need adequate supply of labor and reliable, dependable labor. And when I threw around a stat, I saw that by 2020, the Twin Cities was going to be short jobs of 100,000. And I saw another stat that by 2024, the state is going to be short people to fill all the projected jobs by 400,000. So I bring this up in the context of the Economic Development Authority because, we can do a great job of recruiting, and it's very difficult to do that, but even trying to grow our own businesses, if we don't have the warm bodies to fill them, the jobs that they have, it's going to be pretty hard to grow or sustain any business. So again, this is, when I come across this information, this came out on February 13th, and I copy for your review, so you're kind of concerns are with question is that how do you fill that? You can't start making babies now and have them fill jobs next year. It's going to be 20 years down.
And I mentioned there's a city in New York that made a deliberative effort to recruit immigrants. Found that immigrant families, if you have cheap housing, they'll come in and fix up that housing, and they have a very strong work ethic for the most part because they are starting a new life for themselves. There's a lot of initiative there. That was the history that they encountered, was that the town really did the effort of recruiting. I think, one of the attractive things about our area is that you have rather weather, you have cheap housing, there are things that we're close to a border. We already have an international perspective just because we're so close to Canada. So I think we're in a better situation for understanding some of the situations that immigrants encounter than maybe some other cities would be.
What was your point about our weather? Stable?
Stable cold, right?
Always cold.
Well, we don't have hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, or
Fair enough.
tsunamis.
Any other business before us?
I would just like to bring up a quick conversation about taxes. The EDA could issue a tax for projects or whatever in the future. And the only reason I bring it up here is because I was just reading there is in the legislature right now, the LGA may be threatened if you have a local sales tax. I was just reading that yesterday. It's on the League of Minnesota Cities website, and I was reading through that. So that may be something that the city council might want to look at in what we're doing with taxes. Maybe looking at a possibility of doing an economic development tax. I don't know. Just
That would be a property tax, though, wouldn't it be?
wouldn't have to be.
Yep.
It would be a property tax? Okay. So just something I wanted to bring forward so that we're all knowledgeable about what our options are right now with.
Okay, I didn't read the article, but I will. Now that you put that on my radar, is nation proposing a offset on this, or what?
New LGA formula looks like it will affect cities greatly that have local sales taxes.
And
I don't
I'm
know.
sure I have pretty good. It isn't any rural legislator. Better not be.
Madam Chair, I think, I've read the same thing. I would really doubt that such a proposal is going to go anywhere. There's 33 or 34 cities right now that have local sales tax efforts, and to take and take monies away from those cities, I think you'd find it very hard to get the state Senate to approve such a thing.
Right.
So I'm not sure, why the individuals put it forth. There is also a bill in the legislative hopper right now that would not require cities to go to the legislature for approval, that there would be approval for local sales tax would be local by the citizens. And so whether or not the legislature is going to give up their review or their power to approve those also, I think, certainly would be in question.
All right. Very good. Motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Yep.
Adjourned.